Hello, and welcome to another episode of Soul Talk Radio. So, today I wanted to discuss the R.A.I.N meditation technique. So, R.A.I.N is an acronym, R.A.I.N, R standing for recognizing what's going on in our mind and body. This involves paying attention to our thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations without judgment. A standing for accepting what we're experiencing without trying to change it. This means acknowledging our thoughts and emotions and allowing them to be present without trying to suppress or push them away. The third is to investigate. So investigating our thoughts and emotions with curiosity and openness. This involves exploring the underlying cause of our thoughts and emotions and examining them from different perspectives. The final step is N for nurture yourself with self-compassion and kindness. This means offering yourself the same level of compassion and kindness that you'd offer to a friend, a loved one, or a child. So, to give an example, I experienced a little bit of difficult emotions this week. So what I did was, the first step was I asked myself, where in my body am I feeling this emotion? And the answer that came up was my stomach. So I placed my hand on my stomach and I closed my eyes and I just simply allowed myself to feel it. There was like a tightening of my stomach, a restriction from that emotion that I was experiencing, and I just allowed myself to feel it. And I told myself, I'm here for you. Cry if you need to cry. Just allow yourself to experience this. And I allowed myself to cry. After you've taken a moment to allow yourself to experience that emotion, then you can start to investigate it with curiosity, asking yourself questions like, why am I feeling this way? And then being okay with whatever answer comes up. And a great resource to look at when you're trying to figure out what exactly am I feeling is, and I've spoke about this before, it's called the Emotion and Feelings Wheel. You can just look it up on Google. Because, for example, like anger is never truly anger. It usually always boils down to something else, like disappointment, or I actually have the emotion wheel in front of me, so I'll look at it. It can boil down to frustration, resentfulness, contempt, disgust. Any of our emotions that we're experiencing, they normally have a deeper and underlying emotion, and that emotions wheel can really help you get to the bottom of what you're possibly experiencing. And so once I ask myself questions, what am I experiencing? And I label that emotion, then I'll often ask myself, okay, why am I feeling this way? And I just allow whatever answer to come up be okay. And then I'll nurture myself and speak to myself lovingly, speaking to myself just like I would a child or a loved one, and possibly placing my hand on my heart and saying, I love you, I'm always here for you, you're safe now, you're strong, brave, and resilient, things like that. So we're always speaking to ourselves like we would someone that we love. Because as we've talked about many times, this voice can be one of our biggest bullies. And we're starting to rewire and change that voice to more truthful and positive thoughts and loving thoughts about ourselves. So there are many articles discussing the R.A.I.N technique and how it can help to manage difficult emotions and help with anxiety, overwhelm, anger, depression. I read an article today from ADAA, which is the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, which talked about the R.A.I.N technique and how it can reduce feelings of stress, overwhelm, anger, and anxiety. I also found a couple of studies that have studied this technique. So in 2018, there was a study published by the Journal of Mindfulness, which examined the effects of the R.A.I.N technique on stress and anxiety levels among a group of adults. The study involved a 6-week mindfulness-based stress reduction program, which included the R.A.I.N technique. The results of the study showed significant reductions in stress and anxiety levels among the participants following the 6-week program compared to their baseline levels. The study found that the R.A.I.N technique was effective in increasing participants' self-awareness as well, which is believed to be one of the key factors in reducing our stress and anxiety. And I can see how that could be true, obviously, because when we're taking the time to ask ourselves, why am I feeling this way? Putting a name to the emotion, that is absolutely helping to increase our self-awareness. There's another study in 2020 by the Journal of Evidence-Based Integrative Medicine that found that incorporating the R.A.I.N technique into an integrative health and wellness program helped to significantly reduce stress and improve emotion regulation among healthcare workers. So both of these studies clearly suggest that this R.A.I.N technique is an effective mindfulness practice for reducing stress and anxiety levels, improving emotion regulation, and just improving our overall well-being. This morning I actually created a meditation around this technique, and I taught it this morning on the Insight Timer app, and then I just finished recording it. I'm going to edit it later today and hopefully have it posted to the app. And it's not that long. I think the entire meditation is about 7 minutes, and I found that it was really helpful. I got some really great feedback from people this morning, so I'm excited to be able to offer that to you guys, and hopefully you can listen to that, when you're experiencing difficult emotions, if you forget what some of these steps are, and that can help you. So some of the challenges that I think people face when they are trying to practice this R.A.I.N technique is, and this isn't just when we're practicing the technique, it's all the time, we tend to, at least I do, intellectualize our feelings first before actually feeling them. Like I will constantly, like if I'm feeling overwhelmed or anxious or worried or angry, I will immediately go into problem solving mode. Why am I feeling this way? What happened? What happened in my day that made me feel this way? And that's great. It's great to understand why we're feeling that way, but sometimes I completely skip over the part of actually feeling my emotions, right? We have to allow ourselves to just feel them. I don't know if you've ever heard of the book called The Emotion Code. I think the guy's name is Dr. Bradley Nelson, if I'm not mistaken. Excellent book. But he talks about how when we suppress our emotions, when we don't allow ourselves to feel our emotions, when they come up, they get stuck in the body. Energetically, they get stuck in the body. And he talks about how there's such strong correlations with where in the body we might be feeling pain compared to what emotion we suppressed. It's so interesting, and I really found that book, just a guidepost into some of the things and the pains that I was experiencing, which correlated with emotions in my life that I had suppressed. So when they come up now, I just try and allow myself to feel them. In my book, which is hopefully getting released on 7/7, I know I talked about that last week, I talk about, I have what I lovingly refer to as my crying bolster. It's a yoga bolster, like those large yoga bolsters that you place underneath your legs or whatever when you're doing yoga. And when I need to cry, I will go to that bolster. I will literally lay in child's position and I'll hold that bolster with both hands. I'll rest my head on one side of the bolster and I just allow myself to cry. I bring a box of tissues and I just allow myself to feel whatever emotions have come up without judgment. We're not judging anything as good or bad or that we shouldn't be experiencing it. We're human. We experience emotions. We're allowed to experience emotions. And suppressing them is not good. It's never good. So I just allow myself to first feel them, release them, and you just feel so much better. We all know that. I know that men especially have a hard time expressing their emotions, but as women, we know when we're done crying, we feel so much better. There's a release. And after reading the book, The Emotion Code, I realize now it's an energetic release after we've allowed ourselves to just cry or scream into a pillow, whatever it is that you need to do. And all of those things are okay. I also talk about in my book different techniques for expressing anger, like healthy techniques to express anger, such as screaming into a pillow or practicing like really intense exercise to help release that emotion of anger, or writing down on a piece of paper what you're angry about and then shredding it or something like that. There's a bunch of different techniques that are listed. So again, I think that when I offer to you, the next time you're experiencing a difficult emotion, try this R.A.I.N technique and see how it goes. Recognizing what's going on in our mind and body, accepting it without judgment, allowing yourself to feel and experience that emotion, and then you can begin to investigate that emotion as well as treat yourself with love and kindness, nurture that emotion, speak to ourselves like we would somebody that we love, a loved one, a child, and saying to ourselves, it's okay, I love you, we can get through anything, you are brave, whatever it is that you choose to tell yourself. So I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. And as always, I offer one-on-one mindfulness coaching sessions. If you're ever interested in a session with me, please go to my website, meganshirey.com. I'm also a meditation instructor on the Insight Timer app. I teach a free live guided meditation there every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time if you'd like to join us. If you enjoy these podcast episodes, please like, share, subscribe, comment, and leave us a review. It helps us to reach more people and expand this community. And as always, may you be happy, may you be well, may you be joyous and at ease, sending you infinite love and light. And until next time.